Hello friends, and welcome to Day 8 of HalloweenX right here on Animation Station. While disturbing cartoons are cool and all, it's even better when we have disturbing characters. From both films and television, these are the villains that truly sent shivers down our spines and made us wonder how the heck were they even allowed on screen, let alone in the kids. So without further delay, this is the top 10 darkest cartoon villains. Let's begin. Number 10 is Lena and Simone, the cat creatures from Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island. The first villains that I ever saw, and still some of the darkest. Every harvest moon they lure unsuspecting victims to their island, to literally drain their life force and turn them into tortured, restless zombies to preserve their own immortality. What makes them especially frightening is that at first, while something seems slightly off when we meet them in the movie, they really seemed like normal people trying to help the gang. But as the film goes on, it gets darker and the truth is revealed, which actually makes us both somehow sympathize with them and terrified of them. It may not be scary to everyone out there, but I personally find them pretty freaking dark and scary. And also because Zombie Island's the first movie I ever saw. Number 9 is the Horned King from the Black Cauldron. Disney has done a lot of dark villains, and there'll be a few more later down the lines of this list. So let's start with the Horned King, the Disney villain that Disney never does anymore. This guy is literally a skeleton in a cloak with glowing red eyes and can open the literal gates of hell. Do I really need to say any more than that? Didn't think so. Number 8. This one's going to be a little stupid to some people, but this guy was pretty intimidating. This is Dr. Robotnik from Sonic's Satam. Wow. This is the first and only time that Robotnik was actually legitimately intimidating. Voiced by Jim Cummings, this interpretation of Robotnik is menacing and ruthless and literally has no heart. Instead of him always trying to take over the world, in this cartoon, he's already won and is turning everyone into mindless, robotic slaves to serve under his rule. Sonic may thwart his plans every now and then, but Robotnik really does have the advantage this time, and it makes it scary and it makes us root for Sonic even more, despite the goofy voice Jaleel White gives him. This Robotnik was truly scary, and I really want to see more of this kind of Robotnik, but sadly, it's never gonna happen. It's just not. Number 7 is the Red Lotus Cult from Legend of Korra. I know that I already talked about these sickos back in Day 2, but they're so evil that they need to be brought up again. Torturing someone by bending liquid metal into their veins is a special kind of screwed up in the head. And not only that, but they also subdue her friends and kill the Earth Queen by suffocating her. They were determined, they were ruthless, and they were beyond psychotic. Number 6 is Chernabog from Fantasia. Here we have the literal devil himself and yet another Disney villain. He creates people just to destroy them. He makes demons just to torture them for his own sick kicks. He damned Bill and Ted. Okay, he didn't actually do that, but you get my point. Leaving the devil himself off of a list of darkest cartoon villains would be pretty silly, wouldn't it? Which is why he's here. Number 5 is Bill Cipher from Gravity Falls. In the words of one of my favorite YouTubers, Josh Phantom Strider, Bill was a villain who liked to misdirect us with childish pranks, but underneath those pranks was something creepy to the core. And by the time we reached Weirdmageddon, he was no longer hiding the fact he was the king of madness. Is Chernabog's the king of darkness? though Cipher's the king of madness. And you know what, Josh? I could not have said it better myself. Number 4 is the Lich from Adventure Time. As much as I love this cartoon, man, could it be scary. The Lich is an interdimensional evil that is hell-bent on returning the world back into the monster-infested nightmare that it used to be back in the beginning times. And just like the Horned King, he's literally a skeleton in a cloak, but with glowing green eyes instead of red. He is truly an embodiment of evil that Finn and Jake nearly defeat and nearly escape with their lives. He may not be the darkest, but he's definitely terrifying. Number 3 is Frollo from The Hunchback of Notre Dame. The darkest and scariest villain that Disney has ever done and will ever do. He's such an unlikable scumbag that he'll harm women, children, and ants for some reason, all in the name of serving his own screwed up religious propaganda. Heck, he burns down the entire town without a second thought. He was so twisted and sick and psychotic that the devil himself personally gave him a one-way trip to the burning fires of hell. Frodo was truly a psychotic villain and the scariest villain that Disney has ever done or will ever do. Number 2, this one's going to sound silly, but just hear me out, is Oroku Saki from TMNT 2003. How the heck did this come out of 4Kids of all people? Oroku Saki has been menacing in other incarnations of the Ninja Turtles, but this is the scariest Shredder that I've ever seen. As soon as the 5-foot mystics revived him, he was in no time mercilessly beating the turtles constantly, and brutally I might add. He then captures the mayor's office, turns it into his HQ, and spreads monsters and chaos all throughout New York City. And if that's not enough to convince you, how about the fact that this incarnation is a literal freaking demon? He went so far as to try to literally destroy existence itself. It took not 1, not 2, but 3 teams of turtles to finally end this demonic evil Shredder. TMNT 2012 got pretty close with its evil mutant Shredder, but this is truly the darkest and scariest incarnation of Shredder that we've ever gotten. And that's probably how it's going to be for a while. Number 1, I'm not going to surprise anyone with this one, am I? Nope, I'm not. Okay, let's just get it out then. Number 1 is the Joker from Batman the Animated Series. What can I say about this guy that hasn't already been said by literally everyone else on the internet? Mark Hamill truly made the Joker into the darkest and scariest cartoon villain that I've ever seen. Mark truly found that perfect balance between being both terrifying and psychotic, at the same time as well as fascinating and hilarious, just like the guy in the actual comic. But what really made him the darkest villain was that he made us laugh, yet made us feel completely unsettled for laughing. He really makes us ask ourselves, are we right to laugh, or should we cower in fear? He's abusive to Harley Quinn, he's incredibly intimidating to everyone, especially Batman, and is willing to do whatever it takes to plunge Gotham City into madness and chaos. While Batman, yes, has thwarted him multiple times, he still finds ways to cause havoc in Gotham, even from his own cell in Arkham Asylum. He is truly the embodiment of evil and chaos, and he is truly the darkest cartoon villain of them all. Well, that's it. That's all I have to say. Thank you for checking out these dark cartoon villains with me. Hopefully you enjoyed, despite us going into some pretty dark territory with some of these guys. And until next time, all I can say is Until day 9, have a spooky day and take care.